The afternoon sun of Christmas Eve hung low in the sky, casting long golden shadows across the empty highway. It was warm enough for shirt sleeves, but carried that particular stillness that only comes on holidays, when the whole world seems to pause and hold its breath. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of small moments to change lives, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness True Stories. Also, tell us in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? Most people were already indoors, finishing last-minute wrapping, stirring pots on the stove, waiting for the evening to arrive. But Daniel Hayes was still on the road, his old pickup truck humming steadily as he drove back from his warehouse shift. Windows down, the dry December air moving through the cab. On the passenger seat sat a small plastic bag with a toy car inside it, bought after 3 weeks of careful saving. Meant for his 7-year-old son, Liam, who was waiting at home with the neighbor, Mrs. Patterson. Daniel was the kind of man the world tends to overlook. 2 years ago, his wife had passed away suddenly, leaving him alone with Liam and a mountain of responsibilities that never seemed to shrink. No matter how hard he worked, he took whatever shifts the warehouse offered, picked up odd jobs on weekends, packed school lunches at midnight, and read bedtime stories with heavy eyes. He never spoke about how hard it was, because there was truly no one to tell. He just kept going, the way quiet men do, one day at a time, his son the only compass he needed. He was about 3 miles from home when he spotted the car. A clean silver sedan was pulled over on the side of the road, its hazard lights blinking slowly in the bright afternoon. Daniel eased off the accelerator. He told himself he would just slow down, take a look, and if things seemed fine, he would keep moving. Liam was waiting. Mrs. Patterson had her own family to get back to. The afternoon was ticking away. But then he saw her, a woman standing beside the car, one hand shading her eyes against the low sun, the other holding a phone that was clearly giving her trouble. She was in her early 50s, neatly dressed in a light blazer and trousers, silver streaks running through her dark hair. Her expression composed but clearly strained. He pulled over. He rolled down his window and called out, "Everything all right?" She walked toward him with the measured steps of someone who was tired, but not panicked. "My car just stopped completely," she said. "I called for roadside assistance, but they're saying at least 2 hours. My phone is almost out of battery and I have no charger." Daniel climbed out without another word. He grabbed the small flashlight he kept under the seat out of habit and walked to the front of her car. He was no trained mechanic, but years of keeping his own aging truck alive had taught him enough to recognize trouble when he saw it. After a few minutes, under the hood he found it, a serpentine belt, cracked and snapped beyond any roadside repair. He straightened up and wiped his hands on his jeans. "It's your belt," he told her. "The car isn't going anywhere today, not without a tow." She exhaled slowly and nodded. "I was afraid of that." "Where are you headed?" he asked. "The Hargrove Inn, about 4 miles up the road." Daniel knew the place. It was the kind of hotel that had a grand entrance, a restaurant with cloth napkins, and room rates that would make his eyes water. He looked at the time on his phone, thought of Liam, thought of Mrs. Patterson, and then heard himself say, "I'll take you. It's Christmas Eve, you can't stand out here waiting 2 hours in the heat." She looked at him with an expression he found difficult to name. It was not exactly surprise. It was something more careful than that, like someone quietly noting something important. "Are you absolutely sure?" she asked. "I don't want to take you out of your way." "It's fine," he said simply, and picked up her bag before she could argue. They drove with the windows partly down, the afternoon light turning amber around them. She told him her name was Margaret. He told her his was Daniel. She noticed the toy car in the plastic bag and asked about it. And he found himself talking about, Liam in the easy way he rarely talked about anything. The way his son saved up jokes to tell him at dinner. The way he still set out 2 stockings every Christmas, because he believed his mother could receive gifts wherever she was. Daniel had no idea why he shared all of it. Something about the quiet road and the unhurried afternoon made it feel natural. Margaret listened with complete attention, not the polite half-listening of someone waiting to speak. but real listening, the kind that makes a person feel heard. When he finished, she said, "Your son sounds remarkable." But then, remarkable children usually have someone remarkable showing them how to be. Daniel smiled at the road ahead and said nothing, the way people do when a compliment lands somewhere tender. He pulled up to the Hargrove Inn, helped carry her bag inside, and when she tried to press cash into his hand, he shook his head and stepped back. "It was nothing," he said. "Merry Christmas." He drove home, got thoroughly jumped on by Liam the moment he walked through the door, hid the toy car bag behind the couch, and didn't give Margaret another thought. He had no reason to. Life resumed its ordinary shape. 3 days later, on the morning of December 27th, Daniel's phone rang from a number he did not recognize. The man on the other end introduced himself as the personal assistant to Ms. Margaret Elaine Whitford. The name landed strangely until the man explained that Ms. Whitford was the founder of Whitford Capital Group, a private investment firm with interests across 4 countries. Daniel sat down on the nearest chair. Margaret's voice came on the line a moment later, unhurried and warm, exactly as it had been in the car. She told him that in 30 years of building a business, she had encountered countless people, many of whom had helped her in various ways at various times. But she told him that what he had done on Christmas Eve afternoon, stopping, when he was clearly tired, when he had somewhere to be, when he had every reasonable excuse to keep driving, had stayed with her in a way she could not set aside. She told him she had a position available in her property management company, a facilities operations manager, role with full benefits and a salary that caused Daniel to close his eyes for a moment when he heard it. She told him she had set up an education fund for Liam, enough to cover schooling straight through to university. And then she said clearly and simply that this was not charity. It was her considered response to witnessing genuine character. Daniel was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was low. "I didn't stop because I wanted anything from it," he said. "I know," she said. "That is the entire point." He started the new job in January. By spring, he and Liam had moved into a small house with a garden where Liam immediately began making ambitious and largely unsuccessful attempts to grow tomatoes. In the fall, Liam started at a new school, and on his first day, he wore a backpack with a tiny red toy car keychain on the zip, the same one from the Christmas Eve bag. Daniel never forgot that afternoon on the highway, not because of the phone call that followed, but because of the moment itself, the plain, unwitnessed moment when he chose to stop for a stranger. Even though stopping cost him something real, nobody saw it. Nobody praised him for it. He did it because it was the right thing to do and for no other reason. That moment was 20 minutes of his life. What it gave back to him and his son was immeasurable, and perhaps that is the oldest truth there is, that kindness given freely, without calculation and without an audience, as a way of returning to you in forms you could never have predicted or planned. It moves quietly through the world, finding its way back, the way water finds its level, the way light finds a window. It always comes home. If this story made you feel something warm today, please give it a like and share it with someone in your life who could use a little reminder that good people still exist and good things still happen. And if you want more stories just like this one, please subscribe to Kindness True Stories, a channel dedicated to the moments of human goodness that remind us what we are truly capable of. Thank you so much for watching and for being part of this community.